What's up, everybody? Clyde here with the Offside perspective. I'm joined here by Lorenzo and Kris. And today's topic is Real Madrid's number 9 issue. So obviously Benzema is gone. They need a number 9. Where does Real Madrid go from here? Lorenzo
Uh,
or
I feel
Kris?
like
If you Kris, go ahead. You raised your hand.
I thought we were following classroom procedures, but I think there's only one answer, and whatever you guys will say is wrong. I think Harry Kane is the answer again.
So much
I'm
English
laughing for those that
bias,
don't get
man.
context. You can see our previous video and see our little debate with Klajdi or with Clyde over this Harry Kane topic. So I think he's the answer to everything. He's the upcoming Jesus. Um,
You're gonna offend a bunch of people with that last comment.
hey, controversy, man. It gets
But you
views.
meant Jesus, right? He's the upcoming
Yeah,
Jesus,
the
Gabriel
Arsenal
Jesus.
player. Yeah, Gabriel.
So you think Harry Kane would solve Real Madrid's number 9 issue?
He is the answer. Yes,
He is the answer.
yes.
Okay. Lorenzo, what is your opinion?
I I think Real's gonna find a different approach, kind of like Pep when he played without a declared striker, with the Bellingham coming in Real Madrid. You have Vinicius, you have Rodrigo. I feel like they're gonna try to play without a number nine. They definitely have the
But
players to do that. You just I would say I would assume they would probably focus more on Vinicius coming more central from the wings, kind of like Ronaldo. Some of the wings kind of more central. That would be my guess. I don't think they're going to get a true number nine. I mean, there's still time on the transfer market, but I see Real Madrid as changing the approach a little bit, adopting players, in different
I
position.
I don't see that for a few reasons. One, Ancelotti, I don't think he'll play without number 9. He's always had a number 9. And two, other teams have done it. You're right. I mean, Bayern, did it. Man City did it, but at the same time, even though they didn't have like a number nine, they had a backup. So Bayern had Choupo-Moting, whatever, second-hand player, but they still had him, right? It still helped them score some goals. Man City did not have Aguero, but they had Gabriel
He's
Jesus. Still, Jesus was, I wouldn't say like a perfect replacement, but he still helped them when they needed him. And Real Madrid, they just don't have that unless they have some academy player or someone that we don't know. I mean, they had Mariano Diaz. He kind of started as a number 9, even though he got number 7 right after Ronaldo left. Mariano Diaz left. Now they got Ibrahim Diaz. They're loaded in midfield.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
They're
Like you
good
don't
on
think,
defense, but on wings,
so
because
you
even
don't
on
think.
wings, you got to realize on wings they have Rodrigo and they have Vinicius. What if one gets injured? Because you got to think about squad depth also.
Right. That's what I said. You don't think they can shift Vinicius more central, like because Ronaldo was a winger at Man United too. When he started, and then he had a great season. Then he became almost,
Well, technically speaking, on paper, Ronaldo was a winger, even Real Madrid, right? Benzema was
right,
the number 9,
right.
even
So
though
that's
Ronaldo was a goal scorer.
right. So
But I'm
I'm
thinking I'm thinking mostly from squad depth perspective, right? Because the season is long. You're in 3 competitions. What happens if God forbid, one of them gets injured, either Rodrigo or Vinicius Jr.? What happens then? You got no wings.
yeah, but so this like on the winger side, they can have someone else. They can change the midfield shape. You can do a lot of things to change that. But don't forget
Well, I'm not talking about
they have
makeshift formations.
no
I
no
mean,
no. But
sure, yeah, you
hear
can.
me out. Hear me out. What I was trying to say. What I'm
Okay,
saying is there's a solution to that, right? There's some. It might not be the most ideal solution, but there's a solution. You have no one as a striker, like zero.
right.
Like so that's their problem is a striker. But I think knowing that, so they can't. Okay, City's done it. Barca's done it. Apparently Bayern's done it, which I don't agree with you. I don't think I've seen Bayern play without a striker, or
Well, without
maybe
a number
actually
9
not.
per
Yeah,
se,
but these systems were in a way like set up that way because you didn't even the number 9 was not truly a striker at all times. The number 9 sometimes had to come back, sometimes had to drop on the wings. Um, you had someone else taking his position. So Real's is more rigid. It's not this type of fluid system that City and Barca have played without this stuff. So unless Real wants to change their philosophy within a month, until the transfer window ends, I don't think that's going to be likely. I think they're going to buy some type of striker. Uh, because you
then they're
can't
gonna buy the
you can't
solution for every
invest
team, right? Kane.
Kane. You can't invest all this money in all these other positions, and then lack it in the striker position. Like you
That's
can't
kind of
leave
like
that.
buying a Ferrari without a steering wheel,
Yeah, exactly. Like
I
so to
mean,
speak.
you're almost completing this thing, and you're gonna leave it without a striker. I don't
I
think that's
think
gonna work for them,
I
anyways.
think
And you know where I saw that? I'm sorry, Lawrence. I'm
uh,
gonna say something. So last year, when Benzema was injured for a few games, Real Madrid suffered. Sure, they had a solution. Obviously, you're gonna have a replacement. You're still gonna play with 11 players on the field, but what a number 9 gives you, you cannot go without a number 9 for the whole season in 3 different competitions, unless you just want to consider it as a transitory season, because Ancelotti is going to be gone at the end of the season. But if you're Real Madrid, such a big team, you're not gonna take that gamble.
I mean, realistically
What are you gonna
speaking,
say, Lorenzo?
I think this is a perfect time for Mbappe to go to Real Madrid and kind of force PSG hand. He came out with the comments on the interviews. Plus, his contract runs out less next year. So, and PSG is not going to let a player like Mbappe, leave for free. That on any business,
Right, they've
perspective,
made that
that
pretty
makes no
clear.
sense. So, I feel like at this time, Real Madrid can definitely pay a lot less than they would initially have paid for Mbappe. I mean, maybe his wages are a different story, but as a transfer, fee to PSG, uh, I believe that Mbappe is not happy at PSG. PSG needs to capitalize, on one of their assets, but they're kind of going to get forced into basically accepting whatever, offer comes their way. So I feel like most likely towards maybe like the last 2 or 3 days of the market, they're going to finalize Mbappe to Real Madrid. I feel that's going to
Does
That's
happen.
that solve the
interesting,
number 9 issue?
Would it solve
but
it?
that makes a
I don't.
perfect episode.
I don't think that solves
I
your
feel, I
number 9
feel, I
issue.
feel with Mbappe is going to solve the number 9 issue.
I think so too. I think having Mbappe there would help with going without a number 9, so to speak. I
Oh
think
yeah,
so
it
too. I,
helps
I,
the
I see
cause, right?
Lorenzo's point of view,
Right.
because they would have squad depth, and
It's like having
But
Messi on one wing, Ronaldo on the other wing, saying, "Oh, we can play with no striker." I get that.
no, but I
yeah,
mean,
That
even
helps
with
kind of
definitely having
similar
better than no one.
similar analogy.
even Mbappe,
Okay,
if you watch
that's
me on the French team, he play. I mean, you can put him out either as a 9 or as a 10. Like he can play both positions. Yes,
Right.
ideally he like playing on the wing. I mean, you can with
right.
Mbappe, you can switch one of those players on the wing. You can put Mbappe on the wing, put Vinicius in the center, or put Vinicius on the wing where he played and put Mbappe in the center. So I feel like that
You
would
can
solve their number
alternate.
9
Yeah,
problem. But this is why it's
If I was
interesting.
Real Madrid, here's what I would do. If Mbappe was not, if Mbappe was not an option this year, I would take Icardi, man. That guy was a bowler at Inter. Now he's at Galatasaray. I think PSG sold him. I think he would fit perfectly at Real Madrid. He's not even that old. He will give
It's
you
like
2 3 years.
so you would say kind of do what when Real got Chicharito, kind of have him as a backup.
Yeah,
yeah. What happened
a
to Real?
backup
Like
is better than nothing.
Real,
Yeah,
Real would have 3, 4, guys. in the striker position, and then now they're down to 0.
Well, I
I
mean, they invested in
see.
their midfield,
I never
so
saw Real as having that many. Well, they had Morata. They had Morata, but that was
Morata,
a while
Benzema.
ago.
At a point, they had Higuain, Benzema. Okay, Ronaldo was playing
Yeah.
there. They probably have an academy player too.
So now they're
These
down to
well,
0.
yeah, Chicharito. Now they're down to 0.
But
So
for
I don't know.
long term, Osimhen, the Napoli guy, man.
Yeah,
yeah.
no, that's
Whatever
true.
team he goes to, he's a
No,
long
that's
term
true.
investment.
And just to remind everyone, we're not, we're talking about actual number nines and not like, an academy player that's made his debut once and, don't
Right,
come at
right.
us with like, oh, they have this person, they don't have 0. No, they have 0 in our book.
Like confirmed,
That's
true
right.
number nine is
But
not up and
that's what I would
coming.
do. Either actually, so here's what I would say. Number one pick for me would be Icardi because one, he's a uh, not that expensive, and two, the new coach comes in next year. You never know if he wants to keep Icardi or Osime. But the new coach comes in and he can decide who he wants. You know, but Icardi is such a low risk that you don't need to splash a bunch of money and you don't
So
throw
then,
away your whole season and call it a transitory season.
so on
That's
that
what I
case,
would do if I
then
was Real Madrid. Icardi.
it would make more sense to get somebody on loan for a year. If they're gonna have a new
Yeah,
coach and kind of see
even
what they
that.
want to build, I feel like it would make more sense.
Who's good? Other, other than Lukaku, who else is going to go on loan? That's
Vlahovic,
decent. That's that loan, honestly. Or
Vlahovic
Morata,
is an
unless you want
option
to get Morata back.
Vlahovic,
On
yeah, he's
loan?
been linked. Yeah,
on loan. Yeah,
So okay, why would Juventus want to loan Vlahovic if he's this good? If he's their answer for Real?
just to
Juventus going through the hard times, bro.
Juventus
If they
answer
get
have
him
to
for
pay
game
off his
Vlahovic.
time.
payroll,
He'll
I
he'll play
mean,
in Champions League.
Oh,
don't
okay.
forget, bro. Don't forget, these players, they
Okay.
cost a lot of money. It's not just the transfer fee. Like their wages are a lot. So
Right?
just getting that off your,
Yeah,
if you're
it
trying to
doesn't matter.
restructure. So if you're struggling financially and you get some of
Yeah,
your, top earners out, you know,
yeah, but we're not
it
talking
frees up.
about like um Granada or I don't know, like Crystal Palace buying Vlahovic. We're talking about Bayern, which we talked about previous episodes, and we're talking about Real right now getting Vlahovic.
Right,
So
right.
obviously we're gonna have to. Anyways, I think Kane has all the answers that you guys need, but you guys need to start opening your horizons and watching Harry Kane at a different. Don't just look at him and say, "Oh, this guy's at Tottenham, this and that." Just
You
watch
have
what else.
so much bias. You have so much
What?
bias,
No,
Chris.
I do not. I like Osimhen too, and Vlahovic I've never liked. I like
Is it
Benzema a
is it
lot.
because
There's a lot of
you don't
strikers that
like
I like.
him? Because
Who?
I
I,
feel like you haven't watched him enough.
Who?
Vlahovic.
Oh, he's just not consistent, is what I think.
well, I mean,
At
don't forget this.
Fiorentina, that's where I watched him. He was pretty consistent.
Yeah, Juventus had a bad season. He's been injured multiple
Fiorentina and
times, so
Juventus.
he hasn't played, a lot of. But just to go off on tangent off a little bit,
That's also part of it too. I guess.
Harry Kane, I don't see him leaving England.
Is the best
If he's
player.
gonna go, he's gonna go in the
What?
EPL. He probably is gonna go to Man United most likely or another team in the EPL. I don't see him leaving England. Even if Bayern are close to
I
signing him,
disagree with that.
I think he's gonna
That's
remain
what
in
we
England.
think, right? But I don't know.
I
I
disagree.
mean,
I think because he's been at Tottenham for so long, he's gonna he kind of like owes them that much to not be sold. To not want to be sold to a different EPL team. I think he owes them that much.
I
That's my
mean that.
personal opinion.
Yeah, we
If I
talk
was
about
if I was
modern.
Harry Kane, I would go to Bayern. But that's
Yeah,
a different
we're talking about modern football,
that's a
bro.
Sorry,
Those
different
guys.
topic.
loyalties, don't, those
That was too
loyalties
much
don't
to
exist
say.
anymore. There's only a few
No,
players
I
that
wouldn't say that.
would do that. But
There's no more Totis, huh?
only a few
All
players that
right,
would do that
fellas.
now.
Well, this was a very interesting topic. I think us three solved Real Madrid's number 9 issue. that's all we had for today, everyone. This was the Offside Perspective. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Lorenzo and Kris, for your opinions. And we'll see you all on different videos.
All right.